Hello, and welcome to Brand Clarity by Visions2images, where we focus on strategy and business development for entrepreneurs at all different levels through branding and digital marketing techniques. Susie Liberatore is the founder and art director of Visions2images Creative Services, LLC. For the last decade, she has personally been instrumental in bridging gaps between the global digital market and neighborhood locations for some of the biggest brands around. Growth is possible for even a single location with the right professional branding techniques and Susie's signature strategies of Visions2images. Stand out from your competitors and bring your visions to life while watching your sales skyrocket. Your host for this is Susie Liberatore, owner of Visions2images. Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing amazing. I wanted to come on today and talk to you about how you can use Facebook to leverage your business and or marketing, right? A lot of times people say, oh, Facebook is dead, it's dying, it's not what it used to be. Absolutely. It's probably all of those things for different people in different ways. But there's a lot of good things happening on Facebook still. And I have pretty much grown my company. I started a lot on Facebook, but I've grown my business on social media dramatically. But Facebook is the top one. And it was different when I first started, absolutely. But over the years, we have to adapt and change, right? We have to figure out what's working, what's not working, and how to leverage it. And I want to share 4 little tips with you guys on how you can leverage Facebook. They are super easy and you probably have thought about them, but how do you actually use these items to leverage, right? So number 1 is Facebook groups. Oh my goodness. I hear horror stories about Facebook groups. I hear people saying all the time, oh, I'm in Facebook groups. They don't allow self-promo. Oh, I'm in so many groups. Oh, there's all these excuses, right? There's always excuses if we want there to be. However, one of the biggest ways I have used Facebook to grow my company is through Facebook groups, right? So whether I want to promote something just as simple as my podcast episodes, or whether I want to promote something in general for my company, or if I see other people posting that they need assistance with this or that. Now, you really want to be strategic about what groups to join and what groups to post in and how to utilize them, right? I mean, I'm probably in hundreds and hundreds of groups. I don't go through all of them all the time. I get notifications for probably about a dozen, right? And a dozen is what I need in order to really get myself out there. A lot of times they allow introduction posts. They allow promo posts. They allow you to connect with other people and build. If you are just there for promos, yeah, of course you're not going to be able to leverage it, but you have to be there for more than just that, right? You have to show that value and authority in any group. And you can't just be salesy or spammy. Now, however, if you go in a group and they're saying, I'm in search for a branding expert, you can totally sell yourself that way. That's how I've sold a lot on Facebook. Is people will say, oh, I need a social media person. I need branding. I need a website, right? So all of those things I get a lot of through Facebook groups. And a lot of times, if you have a big enough community, right? Not every person might be a client, but if you have a big enough community of people where they can tag you because they know what you're taggable for, they can tag you so that you don't look like, oh, she's just selling herself, right? It's so much better when it comes from somebody else, especially a past client or somebody who really knows your value. And I'm in a mastermind, and a lot of times the people in my mastermind, I've worked with them so many times, right? So they're able to tag me. And then it also allows me to not have to go searching through all of the posts, right? Like if somebody tags you, you can see it and respond and be done. So I definitely recommend picking and choosing which groups are the best. In fact, I have my own group, a little self promo here called Susie Liberatore, the branding expert. And it's a growing group, and it's for business owners who really want more support. It's totally free. I share podcast episodes, I share and go live, all of these things, right? So it also helps you build connections inside that group. I can't tell you how many times people have built connections because of that. And every now and then we do virtual happy hours and coffee chats so that people can connect in my area beyond just that group, right? So there's a great amount of things. And a lot of times, one more thing I do as well is I share from my clients' pages. I use Facebook groups a lot. So you can join as a Facebook page and you don't have to share it as Susie Liberatore, right? You can share it as the company's name. And if there's promos going on, I share the promos in like local groups where it says buy, sell, trade, all of those things. And, you know, you don't ask for forgiveness or search if you can share it. If they allow you to join as a Facebook page, more than likely they know what's going to happen. So I wouldn't overthink it. I would start to share and get that traction going because it's just another way organically to grow that audience. Number two, which can be very tiring, is friends, right? So we always want to build connections. We always want to build an audience. And I get friend requests all the time on my personal page, right? And so if you're accepting requests, you don't have to, but I do because it's another way to leverage my business. But if you're requesting friends that are also business owners, I would make sure that you have everything clear in your profile. I would also make sure that you are able to post about your company or something to that effect so that all these new people can see these things happening. And it's just so much more feasible in that sense. I respond to friend requests and I send them messages, right? Like I'll be like, hey, thank you for connecting. Super simple, easy, but it's like there's always a question involved. And it's something, it could be what made you want to connect? What made you become a business owner, right? So all of those things really matter. And if I friend request somebody, they are going to get a similar message, right? So if I request somebody that's a business owner that I see that we have a lot of friends in common with, I'm absolutely going to say, thank you for the friend request. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. I hope we can connect and learn from each other. Something simple and sweet, but at the same time, they're like, oh my gosh, she replied. Most people don't send messages to new friends and or friends. They might respond, they might not. I've learned to not get bent over about if somebody doesn't respond because you sent the message, they're going to check you out and they're going to know. And if they think that they need you in the future, they're going to come to you. Vice versa. If I connect with somebody and I know they do roofing, I might say, hey, I'm going to hold on to your name in my head. Say, I'm going to hold on to this person's name and come back if I ever know of somebody who needs a roof. It's all a way to build connections and network. Like that is the biggest thing Facebook is great at. And in order to leverage your business. Hey, let's stop for just 1 second during this podcast episode. I know you're so excited to get back and listen, but I wanted to chat with you and talk about how we really work with businesses. What we really do is we dive in and we ask so many questions. We go through a series of questionnaires and extensive research to really help you get a clear, identifiable plan of action that needs to happen for your business. If you want to hear more about this, go to Visions2images.com, click the contact us button, and we will be happy to set up a time to chat more. The third thing is Facebook ads. Oh my gosh, I hear it every day. My ads aren't converting. I pay a lot of money, yada, 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 right? I'm sure we've all been in that boat. I don't like Facebook ads. I could go on and on the list. Like I hear all of these things all the time. The truth is, organic marketing is extremely hard these days because Facebook has made it that way. If you don't have a Facebook ads budget, I would suggest starting one. They say you should spend at least $5 to $10 a day on ads. So that's about $200 at least minimally a month. If you break it down like that, $200 a month is not super horrible. It's not like you're spending 20 grand, right? Obviously, you can leverage by spending more and doing more, but I recommend at least that. Facebook ads, there's a ads portal, right? We don't want to sit there and boost posts. We want to be really strategic about who we market. But the biggest thing with ads is if there's no conversion happening, then something is wrong. So we really want to make sure that the audience is top notch, and we want to make sure that it's easy, the ad is easy to navigate. If you are doing an opt-in for something, we want to make sure that the opt-in is top notch and it's able to convert. We want to make sure that we really showcase what the opt-in is and what they are getting very quickly so that it can convert. It's all about scrolling these days, right? We want to make sure that scrolling is super easy, it's super quick, and if you can't get somebody's attention within 3 seconds, they are not going to stay and they're just going to keep scrolling. So you have to really understand how Facebook ads do work. You can't just boost a post and expect results, and you can't just do an ad without all of the stuff in process to work, right? I recommend you hire a Facebook ads coach, consultant, or an agency like we can help you with as well if you don't know anything about Facebook ads. Or if you want somebody to just do it for you, that's another option, right? Because Facebook ads can get really complicated. And if you don't have a Facebook pixel on your website, Lord have mercy, you are missing out on a lot. Facebook pixels is how you can redirect people who have visited you. They're basically warm leads. And when they visit you, it's not necessarily for e-commerce, right? It's for anybody. So anybody who visits your website and you have an ad going to that pixel page, if they've been there, they are going to get redirected in the Facebook world, showing up in their newsfeed. And they're going to say, oh my gosh, I was just visiting it, right? So we know that is very popular. Whenever I go to websites, I'm like, oh, they're doing Facebook ads. So there's tons of ways to use Facebook pixels. That's just one of the ways. But you definitely want to have something to that extent lined up on your Facebook page, because it's almost like it's free advertising in a sense. When people keep seeing you over and over again, they understand the authority and they understand your services, essentially, right? We want to make sure that that can happen. And the fourth thing is sharing. Sharing is caring, right? So what I always do and recommend, even on LinkedIn, I do this too, is I always post to my business page first and foremost, because I want them to go to my business page and learn more and follow me and connect with me on there. So I share my Facebook post to my personal page. But beyond that, what I always try to do, and sometimes it's not always the best, right? But what I always try to do is, and by not the best, I mean, sometimes I let it fall off the wagon. Sometimes I try to be strategic about this. But a lot of times, like even for my paying clients, I will share things whenever possible. I will share it to my personal page or my business page, depending on what it is and who it is. If they are nationwide, I can totally do it on my Facebook business page and my personal page. But if it's more local, I usually do it on my personal page. For example, I always share like my lawyer stuff. I share e-commerce clients. Like I share all of these people to my pages. Why? And I always tag the business page as well. Why? Well, that's a great question. It creates authority. It creates people to see you more in any newsfeed. So if you tag the business page, more than likely they are going to comment. The person might comment from their personal page, and then it drives more organic purposes. But beyond that, it's one of those things where it makes you feel good and it makes the client feel good, right? Or maybe you want to work with somebody, but you can't get them in the door. By sharing little tidbits can really help and create that organic traffic. And it's also really, like I said, it's also really good for LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, you can totally connect and share these posts. And then, maybe you send a follow-up message saying, hey, I just shared your post. Thanks so much for the knowledge and the feedback or the tips or whatever it's about. So that way they're like, oh my gosh, she did share it. How nice of her, because they might not have saw it, right? Even if you tagged them, the right person might have not saw it. So it's understanding how to really leverage Facebook. I'm curious to know if you guys do any of these things and if you've had any success. If you have not had success, I highly recommend reaching out to somebody like ourselves at Visions2images, or somebody who that is in the agency and or Facebook world who can really help you to leverage, because this is one of those things that you absolutely can get amazing results from. And if you do all 4 of these things, oh my gosh, you will be moving mountains. So don't forget to sign up on our website for our workbook that is entirely free, only for a limited time. Stop sending your clients to your competition and get my insider secrets to compelling branding that converts. There is so much in this workbook that it is unbelievable, and you can walk away with so much great information. You can go to visions2images.com to download this.